Well, hello, welcome to Tarot to a T. Today we're going to do a March 2023 reading for the sign of Cancer. If this is the first time to my channel, welcome. Glad to see you here. And if you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate your support. So we're going to dive into a general inquiry. What message does Cancer need to hear for March 2023? And I do want to remind you, this is a general reading, so if you're not finding it resonates with you, please come back and join me for the next reading. General readings cannot, in all likelihood, cover everyone who happens upon this channel and video. So, that's okay. Just means there's not a message for you today, but there may be one next time around. Also, I want to thank you if you are a subscriber. Whoa. And or if you have donated to my virtual tip jar, which can be found at the bottom of the description box. These are cards of advice. We're about to get started here. My jabbering on has gotten us through the shuffling. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Oh, Two of Spades. It took me aback for a second. That's a split from something that's pretty permanent. It's usually between two people. To be quite honest, it's the opposite of harmony and balance. It's disconnection. It's disharmony. Let's see what's going on with that. Got the Two of Clubs and the King of Hearts. So the Two of Clubs indicates you need some kind of communication to happen. If you split off from a person, that just indicates to me it's not repairable. So I'm not sure where the communication needs to come in, but it could involve another water sign, or this could be you. The King of Hearts, it could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And the King denotes that there's some kind of power and authority over you, or you just kind of see them as having some authority. I mean, it could be with a supervisor. It doesn't have to be a spouse. We're not looking at genders, so we're not looking at necessarily male either. But there's some kind of communication here that needs to happen with this King of Hearts. And I just tend to think that's outside of you, Cancer. It's just another water sign energy. Now, also the King of Hearts is also, just to kind of give you a heads up, is also kind of that fatherly energy. It's somebody who you see as a loving, firm hand of guidance in some way. Doesn't necessarily literally mean it's your father. I mean, it could be. Maybe you had a falling out with dad. But they're there for you as a support in some way, and they always have your best interests at heart. Four of Hearts indicates you do have a lot of support and connection around you, around the home. Could be the family. That's what I was about to blurt out there. But that just tells me that your living situation is very stable. So this doesn't affect that. It's not like, let's say, a divorce where you know you're going to have to move out, relocate. You can't cohabitate with this person anymore. So you've got some good solid structure there, but you are emotionally torn in a couple different directions, and it just kind of goes hand in hand with the communication that needs to happen. I guess the communication hasn't happened because you're on the fence about something, but it is affecting you very deeply emotionally. Let's go ahead and deep dive into this a little bit for Cancer's March 2023 reading. Interesting. Options and opportunities coming your way to take financial responsibility. It seems to be a shift from what we were just talking about. This is clearly some kind of relationship. The Six of Diamonds denotes, I don't know it's necessarily anything that's connected to this, but it could be. Let's say you are breaking off a relationship. Maybe there's going to be some kind of settlement financially where you're going to be able to pay off debts, take care of things that are needing your attention, replace, repair, think along those lines. more cards, please. Okay. Just took a second there. But you get another 2. So there's a big emphasis here on 2s. 2s, again, are kind of that balance and harmony. In this context, you are looking for some kind of companionship, or you're desiring, I should say, not looking for it. This is not about scoping out the bars and trying to find the love of your life. No, this is just the desire for closeness in some capacity. It could be that this falling out you've had with this person, you're desiring that closeness back. Could mean that you know things are over with them and you're desiring companionship on another level. I don't feel like what we're looking at here is happening necessarily in March. I think it might have already transpired, maybe in the month of February. I don't remember your last reading offhand, what the context of that was. If you're curious about that, there is a playlist for Cancer on my channel. You can also see that pop up in the playlist will pop up in the right hand corner at the end of the video if you're interested. Also, there'll be a couple links that pop up at the very end, 2 videos you can click on. 10 of Spades, whatever this was, it's completed. The door is shut. I just see a very strong confirmation here with the 2 of Spades and the 10 of Spades that the door is shut. This is closed out a chapter. It's very devastating to you, though. This is a major loss. This is not one of those light endings at all. It's not like you just had a spat and you're moving on. This requires a fair amount of healing. A lot of damage has been done here. But, interestingly, it did come out with this 2 of Hearts, so I feel like, well, the 2 of Hearts came out right before it, I should say, but I feel like I'm talking to some Cancers that had a falling out with a significant loved one, and I think you're just desiring that closeness. Let's say you're missing that closeness. If you know it can't go back to the way it was, you're desiring that connection to them again. That's the energy. It's not just a general energy of I need someone to feel close to. I think it's a specific person, very likely that King of Hearts. With the 7 of Clubs here, you are, it's a feeling of entrapment. So I don't think you're literally trapped in a situation. I think it's kind of the opposite. You feel like there's nothing you can do. You recognize there's nothing you can do to fix the situation. That's the entrapment here. The feeling of nothing going anywhere. It's not able to be repaired. It's irreversible. Whatever transpired. Wow. Wow, Cancer. You are going through it. Yep. Okay, 10 of Clubs, Ace of Hearts. This is encouraging because that Ace of Hearts is a new start. So you are starting off in a direction following your heart. Again, not necessarily going out and seeking more romance or a replacement for this person. Just following your heart's desire. Where your heart leads you is where you're going to go. It could literally mean romance, not romance, but relationship or career, or maybe there's some kind of hobby that you've been wanting to deep dive into and to pursue. But it's all about, on a level, it's kind of like you're seeking that wish fulfillment. But the 10 of Clubs here, again, denotes a end of a chapter. But this is for good reasons. It also involves a lot of travel. So perhaps the Ace of Hearts is the new start, and you're going to travel a little bit. It's happy travel. So don't worry. It's not about something that you're not going to enjoy. It could be literal travel, physically traveling, or it could be mental, moving from one mind space to another. But I kind of picking up on somebody, a Cancer, who is healing through this process. They haven't had this communication, and they're still not sure how to feel about things. So they're gonna get away. They're just going to physically get away. They're going to go off, even if it's just visiting a relative. You know, it's not like you have to go off and have this European, long, extended European trip or anything like that. Or if you're in Europe and going to North America or South America or anywhere else in the world, it's just that you need to, I don't want to say distract yourself, but kind of take your mind off things for a while. I think once you are able to get away and have some positivity surrounding you and travel, we like to run into pleasant situations when we travel, and we hope there's not any problems. But you know, in the midst of focusing on, let's say, traveling, perhaps you can resolve some of this. You can kind of figure out, you know, subconsciously how you really feel and which way you want to go. Again, emphasis on new start and following the heart. Let's go ahead and look at your cards of advice. This is all part of your destiny. This is all part of your life plan here. It is going to present to you. Other doors are going to open because you're going through this experience. It's actually a good sign. Three of Spades. Yep, you're going to go through a little bit more stress and worry. Again, with these threes, you have to think of it as being on a seesaw, just kind of not knowing exactly how you feel about things, how to resolve it. Perhaps there's two different emotions that are at conflict with each other. On one hand, you have pain. On the other hand, you have anger or resentment. Eight of Diamonds, you are going to put in a solo effort here, and it's going to reap rewards in direct proportion, shall I say, of your time and energy that you invest. Because Eight of Diamonds usually talks about entrepreneurship and literally like putting in the hard work and reaping these rewards. I think we're talking on the emotional level. The journey you have to take is within, and it's solo. I mean, that goes without saying. But in other words, I'm not gonna say that whoever I'm speaking to is prone to putting it out externally. I think Cancers can be very internal in general. They just process things because they're a water sign, and that's associated with the internal emotional nature of them. But just think of it as that, what is that word I'm trying to think of? It's like a solo journey you take to figure out who you really are. And it can be put in a lot of context, not just knowing how you feel, but what your life purpose is. And there's so many different ways to do that these days, depending on the type of person you are. You know, you catch my drift? There's some people that do it spiritually. They're purely about the spiritual. And then there's some people who want to go off and do ayahuasca, for example, and go into psychedelics. I don't think any way is the best way. I think we all are here to experience and learn, and we all come at it from different angles. So, however that solo journey appeals to you, wherever you're being drawn is where you need to go. King of Spades, interesting. This is air energy, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. King of Spades could indicate that this is you taking control in some sense, or there could be, I'm going to tell you, there is one aspect of King of Spades. It's a person that causes problems, and I don't see that as like they have that nature to cause problems. It's just that they become disagreeable in some way. So it's like somebody you don't see eye to eye with, you can't agree on a subject, you're not on the same page, etc., etc. It could be that there's a person around you that represents that King of Spades, because they're also, on the other hand, besides being disagreeable, they're very practical, especially good in business. Not sure if you have that business slant to you, but we did kind of see that with the Six of Diamonds. There is an inkling here of abundance and being secure some way. And of course, with the Eight of Diamonds, I just see the Eight of Diamonds as more that solo effort, not necessarily monetary gain or income related. It could be warning that you're going to be at odds. This could be you, okay? Going back to the King of Spades energy, you could be odds and not on the same page with the world around you. In terms of how you take control of the situation, people may see you as, I don't know, going off on your own and being kind of this lone wolf. Because again, there's a very strong emphasis on solo effort. You're not teaming up with anybody. You're not like talking to your girlfriends or your brothers about what happened and getting like a consensus. That's not what this is about. This is more of an inner journey. And if people around you kind of could be critical of you and thinking that you're just not, you're not doing the right thing, they'll have their own opinions. You see what I'm driving at? So for the outside world, they'll see you as not being agreeable. Perhaps it involves hermit mode. I mean, really, kind of clamming up and being by yourself for a while. Especially emphasis with that, the travel card. This doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be traveling with a group of people or even a couple of friends or anything. It could mean that you're going off on your own as you embark on this new start. To find yourself. What is that movie? I can't remember it. Pray, Love, Eat for Love, Pray. It was based on a book. And it had Julia Roberts in it. And it's about a woman who went off to different places in the world to meditate and learn from like spiritual gurus. And it's all about finding yourself. Eat, Pray, Love. I'm pretty sure it's the name of it. I'm kind of seeing that kind of situation. Someone who wants to go off on that kind of journey, who's feeling that pull. Another chapter wrapping up for you, though. Remember, this is your cards of advice, so this may not be occur to you at the moment. But this is about prosperity and success. So this is going to lead you, not necessarily emphasizing finance or prosperity, but there's going to be something very successful about this. This is the feel of it. And when I also see that card is, let's say in the past you set some kind of bar for yourself or some kind of goal, that's you achieving it. That's the success. And therefore you feel prosperous because you've reached your goal. We don't always reach our goals. We set off with good intentions and sometimes we set the bar really high and we don't reach them. So it's not necessarily a Ten of Diamonds situation in that case. Queen of Hearts. Again, water sign energy is being emphasized here. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. This is the kind of along with the King of Hearts. It's the motherly card. This is someone who's very nurturing. Again, has some power and authority. I see this as you. The ultimate state to be in is being able to self-nurture and take care of yourself. I see that as the Queen of Hearts. I see that as the embodiment of you ultimately learning how to go within and take care of yourself in this situation and heal from it. Again, significant amount of healing is needed. Five of Hearts, some kind of separation here. This usually is physical. It could be that you will eventually be relocating. It could certainly mean that. This doesn't always mean divorce. Just want to throw that out there. Sometimes this means physically separating because you have to travel for work. It could mean somebody going off to college, deployment to the military. So the physical separation, I think, is eventually you are going to find yourself, again, kind of going with the flow of things and being pulled to relocate. Perhaps to a whole new area, a different state, different city, wherever you are in the world. So there's nothing really connected with this as far as breaking up with somebody, I just want to emphasize that it could also mean, because it is with the Five of Hearts and it talks to our emotions, emotionally separating yourself from the past. Any more cards of advice for Cancer? Oh, nice. This is going to lead to a lot of personal growth. Could have kind of gleaned that from what we were talking about here throughout this reading. It is going to offer more options and opportunities, though. It's gonna level you up. You're gonna mature in a way that you probably can't foresee, but over time and the process that you go through, the personal growth speaks on all kinds of levels: emotional, mental, physical, spiritual. But that's a very good card there. So this is all gonna work out, and it's all gonna be worth it. You're gonna glean the benefits from it for sure. And especially, I just want to emphasize with the Ten of Diamonds that success, huge success, self-nurturing, I think is key to that. This is the end of the reading. For a little bit here, I just want to go back and just remind you that you are being kind of given the heads up here that you are still going to be stressed and a little bit worried about how this is all going to turn out. But if you put in this time and energy and effort on your own, seeking your true desire, and how you really feel about things, the confusion, people are probably not going to perceive you the way that you perceive yourself. They're going to see you as, I keep hearing lone wolf. Just kind of going off on your own and into your own little world, and perhaps that's also going to evoke them being worried about you. That's kind of what I'm trying to nail on the head there. It's a perception of you not going along with the program that they think you should be following. Catch my drift? But this is a solo effort. And ultimately, this is part of your own journey, your destiny. Okay, Cancer. I'm going to wrap it up there. This is a bit of a hard situation you're going through, no doubt. I don't see you floundering, though. I see you actually growing. I see huge potential for growth here. So, it's all good. Just remember that. Thank you for joining me. If you would like to see when the next reading comes out, please hit subscribe notifications, or just check back in my channel and see what's going on in a week or two. If you're interested in making a donation to show your appreciation for the reading, the link can be found at the bottom of the description box. Just copy and paste the Buy Me a Coffee link into your browser. Takes you right there. Thank you again, and I will see you again soon, Cancer. Take care.